Alright, so this is my Trachycarpus wagnerianus, and I think I've had it in the ground now for either 4 or 5 years, and it's starting to get, you know, I say it every year, but it's getting bigger and bigger every single year. The fronds are starting to get quite large on it, and you can see that frond looks quite spectacular. Alright, so this is my southern live oak, also known as Quercus virginiana. And I actually have several of these, but this is the one that I planted back here. And I have a smaller one. It's actually been in the ground longer than this one. This one I planted this year, and the other one I planted last year. Alright, so this is my original southern live oak that I planted back here. And it started off as a seedling, and you can see it still is a little seedling. As a matter of fact, this came from Cottonwood, Alabama, and you know, it was dug up in the middle of the woods there, and it's one of the several seedlings that I actually took. And I think it's still in the process of trying to regrow its root system, so that's why it hasn't really grown that much this year. Alright, so this is my newest edition, or actually one of my newer editions. It's not the newest. This is a new Camerops humilis that I decided to try again with because the other one just rotted away after, I guess, way too much moisture. And so far this one is doing really well, and I don't think this one will be a problem. Okay, so that's my large sable miner. This is the first sable miner I planted back here, and this thing has gotten just absolutely big. It has yet to flower for me. And I think this may actually end up being a Sable Louisiana just because of how fast it grows. You know, last year this thing was neglected, and I didn't water it at all. Like, everything back here looked like crap because I just didn't have time to water anything. And it was like very, very dry. It ended up, you know, losing several fronds because of that. But as you can see, it's still, you know, looks really nice. It should look, you know, back to normal this year. You know, it's got 3 fronds, but, you know, coming into the winter it had 2. It looked terrible. And I think, you know, by the end of this summer it might have like 6 or 7 fronds. It really depends on how fast it wants to grow. This thing just doesn't stop growing, and I mean, it grows so fast it's not even funny. So here's that large needle palm I planted last year, and like I said, this is a female, and it did not flower this year. You know, I showed a video of the male flowering, which was, you know, nice, but as you can see, this thing still looks a little, you know, a little ratty. I don't know why. I think it needs to really grow out its root system, but it's also that this is a totally different ecotype than my originals. This is a Alabama strain needle palm, and all my other needle palms are Florida strain needle palms. Okay, so that's my southern magnolia. I planted that 4 years ago, and it really hasn't done anything until this year. This year it has doubled in size, and I mean, it, you know, it's put out the most growth I've ever seen it put out. I actually thought these were going to be slow growers because just how slow it was growing in the past. But I think just like with the live oak seedling, and, you know, just about any tree you plant, they have to grow out their roots before they actually start growing fast. Like, even sables do that. You know, you plant a sable miner, it's going to be, you know, a little slow at first, and then once it establishes itself, it grows a lot faster. Alright, so this is a 6-year-old Trachycarpus fortunei variation Nanotile, and I grew this one from seed. It's been in the ground since it's been a little seedling, and it's actually starting to develop a little trunk, as you can see down there. But this thing has been growing quite slow, but it is extremely cold hardy. It is very reliable. It has never taken any damage. One thing it is notorious for is it will get a spear pull right before the start of fall. Alright, so these are Banana Joe Trachycarpus fortunei seedlings. I grew these from seeds. These came from Salt Spring Island, right, I think at the little seaside cafe, or is it a seaside pub? But yeah, you can actually see the videos of these parent plants of these on Banana Joe's channel. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.